want you to look at your phone. Look at the screen you're holding in your hand. This glass isn't a window, it's a mirror. And for your entire life, the people who built this world have been using it to project a movie into your mind, a film called reality. You think you see a world of choice? You think you see a government that protects you, a history that defines you, and a future you're lucky to even be a part of? Look closer. That's not the world. That's the wallpaper of a prison cell. You've been programmed to believe you're a drop of water in the ocean, when the truth is, you are the storm that creates the wave. You've been told you're a subject, a consumer, a minority begging for a seat at a table that was built with your own timber. I'm not here to get your like. I'm not here for the algorithm. I'm here to be the glitch in your feed that sets your soul on fire. I'm here to tell you that the throne they sit on is made of cardboard. The chains on your mind are made of smoke. And the giants you were told to worship were just actors in a play designed to keep you from realizing that you are the architect of everything. Are you ready to stop watching the movie and start tearing down the theater? Well, since Black History Month next month, let's start here. Let's talk about the first ghost they uploaded into your brain, Harriet Tubman. They want you to believe in a Moses with the lantern, but I'm asking you to look at the math. The system loves to give you a safe revolutionary, one who eventually wore their uniform and served their Union Army. The conspiracy they don't want you to Google. Harriet Tubman, the hero of the textbooks, is a manufactured legend. Before she, quote unquote, escaped, she was Araminta Ross, or Araminta, however, Araminta Ross, if I'm pronouncing that right. In the world of intelligence, that's called a legend, a backstory for a deep cover asset. They tell you she made 13 trips and rescued 300 people. Then they walk it back to 70 when the math fails. The Underground Railroad wasn't literal tracks. It was a psychological construct. By promoting this myth, the government created the release valve to make the most horrific industrial torture system in history look like a game of hide and seek. They needed you to believe the North was your savior, so you'd lead your people right back into the arms of the state. It's the ultimate mental slavery, making you celebrate an asset, the very system that claimed to own you. But they didn't stop in the 1800s. If Harriet was the ghost, Martin Luther King Jr. was the plan. Ask yourself, why does a system that hates you give you a holiday to celebrate a revolutionary? Because for the first decade of his career, King was the ultimate controlled opposition. While the masses were ready to burn the system down, the government groomed a hero who would tell you to turn the other cheek and drink while they were lynching your brothers in the dark. Look at the declassified FBI COINTEL files. J. Edgar Hoover wasn't just watching the king. The state was managing his image. They gave him the Nobel Peace Prize and the I Have a Dream platform specifically to drown out the raw, uncut fire of my boy Malcolm X. They needed a non-violent buffer to protect their paper tiger government from a real black revolution. But here's the truth. They can't delete when DuPont went rogue in 1967, when he started talking about the Vietnam War and the Poor People's Campaign. And I'm pretty sure all y'all familiar about the Poor People's Campaign, where he was talking about making them cut our check because they mechanized all the farms and was giving all the immigrants land and funding and everything to farm and teach them how to farm and everything. But he put them on blast. The government pulled the plug though. The 1999 Memphis civil trial. Look it up. Case number 97-10240. The jury found that governmental agencies were part of the assassination conspiracy. They created the hero to lead us into integration. And when he tried to lead us into revolution, they killed him and kept the myth to keep you sleeping. That's how evil and deep this shit get. That brings us to the surgeon, the man who saw the code in the Matrix before anyone else. My boy, Malcolm X. Malcolm didn't just give speeches. He performed brain surgery on the colonized mind, something we very much need today. He saw through the paper tiger. He knew that the white man's greatest tool wasn't the whip, it was the mind control that made the black man think he was inferior. Malcolm warned us that the liberal government will have you thinking they're your friend while they're sticking a knife 6 inches into your back. He didn't want us to integrate into a burning house. He looked at the U.S. government and saw a fragile, flickering image of power that only stays bright as long as we keep feeding it our fear. In time, he was the only one they couldn't plant, couldn't buy, and couldn't break, which is why his voice is the one they try to sanitize the most today. He told you, if you're not careful, the newspapers will have you hating the people who are being oppressed and loving the people who are doing the oppressing. And think about how things are today, and you should see how relevant this man continues to be, even after his ascension. Now listen close, because this is the information they would shut down the internet to hide. The government is terrified of you because it is incredibly fragile. We think they are a solid mountain. They are actually a house of cards in a hurricane. Every bullet, every politician's salary comes from your labor. If the people collectively adjusted their withholdings to zero, the federal government will go bankrupt in 30 days. You hear me? I will repeat. If the people collectively adjusted their withholdings to zero, the federal government will go bankrupt in 30 days. They are a parasite that can't survive if the host wakes up. There are 330 million of us and only about 2 million in the military. They don't have enough boots to stand on every street corner. The power is 10% physical and 90% psychological. They rely on you believing they are strong so you don't test the fence. Pretty sure y'all familiar with the movie Life. Don't touch that gun line, boss. The same way they playing us right now. The law only exists because you agree to follow it. If 1 million people walk through a door, they say it's closed. The door is no longer closed. I'm gonna repeat that. If 1 million people walk through a door, they say it's closed. The door is no longer closed. The Panthers called it the paper tiger because it looks fierce, but it's thin as a sheet. They have to give you myths like Harriet and plants like Martin Luther King because they know they can't survive a real unmanaged movement. They aren't the ocean. They're just the people trying to tell the ocean where to float. The government is a paper tiger. Harriet Tubman is a ghost story used to make you love the state. Martin Luther King was a managed plant until he became a threat. And Malcolm X is the blueprint. We are living in a simulation of mental slavery. They give you history to keep you from making future Malcolms. They didn't die for you to follow a ghost. He died so you would become the architect of your own truth. The simulation is glitching. You can see the wires not. You can see that the only thing keeping the master in power is the fact that they're still waiting for a real world or a dream to save you. Stand up. Declassify your own mind. Free your soul from their legends. The revolution begins in your own head first. Share this truth or stay in assimilation. Like, share, and subscribe for more content as we dig into all titles.